Good morning, expatriates and international students, and welcome to my channel Good Morning Expat. Today we are going to discuss about the maintenance and upkeep of your apartment, and this video is in continuation of the two previous videos that I made on accommodation and housing in Milan. One common problem that many expatriates and international students face is that their landlords do not return their security deposits or only return it partially at the end of their stay. And often it is on the grounds of wear and tear in the apartment, but more often it is on the grounds of lack of cleanliness in the apartment. Now, as a tenant, you might argue that you left your apartment absolutely clean at the end of your stay, but your landlord might have a slightly different opinion about it. And often they're not completely wrong, because while the apartment that you vacated might look extremely clean superficially, but it is possible that one of the taps had some accumulated lime scale, or there was a little fungus growing in one of the corners or behind one of the cupboards and so on. And this means that the landlord will have to bear some expenses to do the final proper and exceptional cleaning of the apartment, and therefore they're retaining some part of your security deposit. So the key to avoid these problems is to keep your apartment well maintained right from day one, and you can continue watching this video to learn about the 4 top things to keep in mind that will help you ensure that you return your apartment in exactly the same condition as it was in when you moved in. And you guys can trust me on this, because I've changed 8 different apartments in Milan and none of my landlords have so far retained any of my deposits because of cleanliness or hygiene issues. The first thing to keep in mind is to ensure that you keep your apartment well ventilated and avoid the accumulation of excess moisture in the apartment. It is important to leave your windows and doors open when you cook, after you shower, and also if you dry your clothes inside one of your rooms. When you cook, all the smoke and fumes that get generated from the cooking can get accumulated on the walls and different surfaces of your kitchen in the form of filth, so it's important to clean the surfaces. But at the same time, they can also increase the moisture level of the place, and it is likely that over time some kind of mold or fungus can start sprouting from one of the little corners of your kitchen, so it's very important to keep the place well aerated, especially when you're cooking. And for us Asians, it is imperative to keep the windows and doors open when we cook, because our food is so aromatic that if you don't do this, all our clothes and other stuff will get infused with the smell of the spices and the different aromatic herbs and stuff that we use, and it can get actually quite embarrassing. In fact, one time I had to meet a friend after having a house party with some Indian friends, and when I approached my friend later that evening, her reaction was, "Have you got an Indian takeaway for our meeting tonight?" And I said, "Well, no, I just happened to be returning from an Indian aperitivo where we met, cooked and ate some Indian food, and consequently my bag, my jacket, my scarf and my hair are indeed smelling like an Indian takeaway." So it can get very embarrassing. So to avoid such embarrassment and also to keep your house clean, it's important to keep it well ventilated and leave your windows and doors open when you cook. Also after you've showered, because the steam that can generate has to escape out. And also if you happen to dry your clothes on the inside of your apartment, meaning if you don't have a balcony, for example, and you're obliged to dry your clothes in the bedroom, for instance, or any living room, it's important that the steam, the moisture that generates has a way to escape out. The second important thing to always have on hand is a lime scale removal product. The water in Milan is full of limescale and it can get accumulated on your taps, showers, basins, etc. And it's very important to clean it off periodically. Otherwise, over time, a thick layer of limescale will get accumulated on these things and it's going to get very difficult to get rid of, not to mention the germs and bacteria that it will contain. Most of the taps and water outlets are fitted with this little water filter, which is meant to prevent any dirt or grit present in the water from passing, and it's important to clean these too, again using this limescale removal product, which is called liquido anticalcare in Italian. And because of the heavy presence of limescale, the water in Milan makes your skin very rough and dry, and with prolonged exposure to it, your skin can develop some specific conditions in case it is very sensitive. So it is important to keep your skin well hydrated and moisturized, and also possibly use some natural and mild soaps like Aleppo soap, for example, or something with aloe vera. And you should also ensure that you make use of hand gloves while washing the utensils. And another thing to keep in mind is that you routinely clean the various drains that are there in your apartment, for example in the sink in your kitchen, the wash basins in your toilet, and especially those of the bathtub or the shower cabinet, and more so if you're a girl like me with long hair which keeps falling off. The best way to clean the drains is to use a declogging gel of some kind, which can be dispensed in the drain and left overnight, and this kind of a product is called gel idraulico in Italian, in case you need to find it in the supermarket. And the final thing to understand is how to separate the garbage in your apartment and the correct way to dispose it of. In Milan, separating your garbage is no less than a scientific project, and there are 5 main categories in which you need to separate or classify your garbage or rubbish, and depending on that, there will be 5 types of dustbins that will be provided by your building. The yellow dustbin is for plastic or metal waste. The white one is for cardboard or paper based waste. Green one is for glass, and then the brown one is for umido, which stands for wet waste or waste generated in the kitchen like vegetable peels, etc. And the 5th category is for clothes, shoes and electronic or electrodomestic items. If you have old clothes or shoes to discard, they can be disposed of in these yellow receptacles or collection units, which can be found all over the city. And these are usually managed by AMSA and charitable organizations like Donna Valore or Caritas, who collect used clothes and shoes for the needy and poor people. And if you have bulky furniture, electronic or electrodomestic items to dispose of, then you can register on the AMSA portal to book a collection service, which is free for many items and paid for some. You will be given a date and time to leave your item on your street on the walkway. So I hope that you liked watching this video, and I also hope that these guidelines will help to ensure that no landlord can retain your deposit on cleanliness grounds. And well, if you have a question, leave a comment below, and do hit the like button and the bell icon to always stay updated. And please do subscribe to my channel, Good Morning Expat, and thank you again guys for watching. This is how to separate the garbage in your apartment and the correct way to dispose it of. In Milan, there are mainly 5 categories of dustbins that your building is going to provide to you. Yellow, which is mainly for, okay, I have to read, I've forgotten my